You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Jason.
Yes? Oh, hello, Evelyn.
Can I talk to you?
In a minute. Do you know what that is?
What it is?
That's Glenn Miller, Evie.
Who?
You don't remember him, do you? No, of course not. You weren't born yet.
Jason.
Truth be told, I wasn't either. But I had a collection of old-time records. Quite a collection. One of the best in the country. Glenn Miller, Harry James, Tommy Dorsey. Of course, that was before. They all got broken to pieces, along with everything else. Except for this one.
Jason, they want to know.
Know what?
About the food. You have to tell them something.
Wait till Mr. Goldsmith comes back from the cave. Did you know there was a place called the Meadowbrook on the old Pompton Turnpike?
What's that?
The Glenn Miller Orchestra used to broadcast from there. I read it in a book. Frank Daly's Meadowbrook on the Pompton Turnpike. Oh, what I'd give to have heard that on the radio.
What's a radio?
Well, it was a way for people to communicate. They sent out speeches, music, anything they felt like for others to hear. Any time of the day or night, around the clock.
Did they send food?
What?
Food, Jason. That's what we need. Look out the window. Everybody's in the street and they're hungry. They have to know about the food we found.
It's not food unless we can eat it. Till then, it's just cans. Tell them to wait for Mr. Goldsmith. Tell them he's gone to ask the old man.
I'm telling you, they're not going to wait any longer.
Looks like there's a crack in this one, too.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't make any difference. All that was 1,000,000 years ago. That's where this music came from. 1,000,000 years ago. Just a ghost, like me.
What about the canned goods? They're not ghosts.
Hey, Jason! Is he back yet?
Yeah, where is he?
Sure been gone a long time.
Maybe he's not coming.
Are we supposed to starve or what?
All right, I'm coming. Hold your horses, everybody.
What you've just witnessed is the better part of a legacy, left by man for himself. Some years previous, he pushed his buttons, and a nightmarish moment later woke to find that he had turned the clock back 1,000 years, or more. His machines, his medicine, his science were buried in a mass tomb, covered over by the biggest gravedigger of them all, a bomb. This, then, is the Earth not many years later, where the few remaining survivors get by, but just barely, in a once thriving suburb full of families who lived their lives with faith, hope, and charity, until that terrible morning. Now they scramble simply to stay alive, with nothing to guide them except someone they've never seen, an old man in a cave who dispatches wisdom in a most peculiar fashion. And a moment from now, the old man's authority will be put to the test, as faith goes the way of hope and charity in a future no one imagined they'd ever have to face. For this is a fragment of a whole, a remnant of what was once a proud race, now all that's left of humanity in the Twilight Zone.
And now The Twilight Zone and our story, The Old Man in the Cave, starring Adam Baldwin with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Put that can down.
Look at this. It says peas and carrots.
And sliced beef from Argentina. You know, the last time I had beef?
I said, leave it.
You been to the cave, Jason?
Did you see Goldsmith?
What's the matter with you people? Are you worried the old man's gone away? He's always been there. Well, hasn't he?
But did he talk to Goldsmith yet?
Goldsmith's waiting for the message. As soon as he gets it, he'll bring it down and share it with us.
Is he asking about this food?
I tell you, it's pre-bomb. Everything in the pile is pre-bomb.
We don't know that.
Look at it. It's safe as anything.
I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised at all of you. We have no way of knowing...
Why do we have to wait for the old man? Why don't we just take our chances with it?
We already took our chances.
What's that in your hand?
See this? The old man told us not to plant on the north acreage, and this is what came up.
I know what those are. Those are carrots, just like on the can.
Did these grow, Evie? Or did someone leave them to us in a will?
They were the best of the crop.
The best? Then I'd hate to see the worst.
But if we grew them ourselves, they must be okay.
No, Evie's right. I don't think we ought to eat these. Too much of a risk. Maybe we just better bury them with honors.
But that's what Goldsmith went to the cave for. That and the canned goods, to find out what land we could try next. If the old man says it's okay...
The old man, indeed. God knows where he gets his knowledge, but he knows about land. You remember the tomatoes that came up? After he sent a message telling us not to plant them...
They were deformed, too.
Monstrous is the word. Looked like rotten watermelons, and tasted like nothing fit for a human.
But these cans, they didn't grow. We found them buried by the road.
Let's wait till Mr. Goldsmith comes back. Wait till he has a chance to ask. You know, man doesn't live by bread and canned goods alone, or free carrots or mutated tomatoes. But do me a favor, will you? Just don't ask me what he does live by. In this 20th illustrious year after the bomb, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Attention! Attention!
There's Goldsmith.
We'll find out once and for all.
We have just had a communication from the old man in the cave.
And?
There is an 80% possibility of rain tomorrow. The wind is from the northeast. This means there will very likely be a high radioactivity count in the precipitation. All of you are asked to remain indoors and stay there until otherwise advised. All barrels should be placed upside down and all water troughs covered. See to it that no one touches any rainwater till it's been thoroughly examined.
What about the canned goods?
The old man says they're probably contaminated.
What?
If so, they should be destroyed.
How does he know that? He hasn't even seen them.
There's no telling where it came from or when it was canned. I think we'd best leave it alone for a while, at least till I ask the old man again.
Why can't he tell us now?
He has a lot on his mind, but he's never told us wrong before, has he?
Quiet.
What's the matter?
Listen.
I remember that sound.
So do I. It's a truck of some kind.
Where do they get their gasoline?
Then it must be Army.
Private, stay with me.
Yes, sir.
The rest of you wait by the Jeep.
You won't need those guns. We're not armed.
Who's in charge here?
I guess I am.
Good. You got a name?
Goldsmith.
What about this place? Does it have a name?
And if it does?
Well, if it has a name, Goldsmith, we'd like to hear it.
And you are?
Major French, Central States Command.
Never heard of it.
Well, you will from now on. We've been sent out to organize.
What?
Organize?
That's what I said.
On whose order?
You better clean out your ears, Pops. I told you, Central States Command. How many people here?
We haven't counted lately.
What about food?
What about it?
There's sufficient.
You grow your own?
Well, some. We have a supply of pre-war canned goods.
So I see. It's quite a stash.
Well, that's not part of it.
Haber, take a look around.
Right, sir.
Douglas, stay close to the car. Furman, you stay with me.
Yes, sir.
Major, what do you want?
Oh, painless things. Nothing, really. Quarters for the four of us.
Agreed.
Let's see. Rations for as long as we're here. And no trouble. The last one goes on the top of the list. No trouble.
I don't think you understand, Major.
No? You can speak freely?
We don't recognize your authority here. We've had other Other transients pass through the town on occasion.
Did you say transients?
They didn't stay. Like you, Major, they represented themselves as authorities, and we discovered they had no headquarters. They carried it with them. They represented no one but themselves.
Well, now, this is the new breed, Mr. Goldsmith. From now on, this whole area will be organized. It will be set up in military sectors, each controlled by local constabulary. In this case, that means yours truly.
You and your constabulary may stay here overnight, Major.
It's good of you.
We'll share our food and provide you with a place to bed down, but tomorrow morning you best do your organizing somewhere else.
Mr. Goldsmith, unofficially, the following. We'd like to make the transition here as easy as possible, for you as well as for us. Under certain circumstances, we might allow you to remain in nominal control, assuming you don't in fact give us trouble. Now, that's unofficial, Mr. Goldsmith. The following is official.
Stand back.
Now, Mr. Goldsmith, listen up and let me tell you the situation. Between Buffalo, New York, and Atlanta, Georgia, there are probably around 500 people alive. That's the latest intelligence. You know why? Because there's no authority. There's no discipline. We're here to give you a little of both. Now, if you give us lip, if you make any trouble at all, I'll hang you from that flagpole of yours, the tall one in the town square. Now, what about it, Mr. Goldsmith? Do you want to cooperate, or do you want your neck broken? That should be an easy enough decision for someone as bright as you.
We already have an authority. We've had him for better than 20 years.
He give you that pile of cans in the street?
No, someone found it.
What all have you got there?
Poisons, contaminated food.
Who says so?
The old man in the cave.
Oh, it's the old man in the cave, huh? Oh, yeah. Is that right? You idiots. You don't want organization. You'd rather starve to death. You'd rather listen to some nutso in a long flowing robe?
It's not like that.
Have any of you looked at yourselves in the mirror? Do you even have a mirror? You look like skeletons. You know that? That's what you look like. Skeletons. So where's this old man who keeps you on a starvation diet? When does he come out and play?
Well, he never comes out. He stays in the cave.
I'm not surprised, Mr. Goldsmith. You know that? I'm not at all surprised. Off Lake Erie, there's a pack of weirdos who bay at the moon once a week. Yeah, they do. And what used to be Chicago? Oh, we got a swinging cult out there. They built themselves a statue made out of fissionable lead. This is their deity, mind you. And here, what do you have? An invisible old man in a cave. Of course, what else? Come on, Mr. Goldsmith. When you run it around the block a couple of times, doesn't it sound a little nutso, even to you?
When we first came here a few months after the bomb, there were just a handful of people. They had survived because of the old man. We were permitted to settle here only if we did what the old man told us to do.
Oh, this one takes the prize, I swear. This one's the farthest out of anything I've heard yet.
We've survived, Major. While most of the world was dying of radioactivity, strontium-90, the plague, we survived.
Because of the old man.
That's right. Because of the old man.
He's telling the truth.
Well, now, let me see if I've got this straight. He cues you, huh? He tells you what's radioactive, what's not, what's poisonous, whether the sun's coming out tomorrow. I mean, the whole bit.
The whole bit, Major French. As long as he's alive, we'll be alive.
All right, then. Let's go meet him.
You can't do that.
No? Why not? I want to meet him. He must be some kind of genius, this guy. I say we send a team up to the cave right now and check out what he has to say.
Please, Major, you don't understand.
Then help me to understand. And there's only one way to do that. I want to meet this guru of yours, in person. Do I make myself perfectly clear? I want to meet him right now. Haber, Furman, Douglas.
Sir.
Move it out right away.
Right away, sir.
Where do you think you're going, Major?
Off to see the wizard. I have the authority now, Mr. Goldsmith.
It's not that easy.
Oh? Where's the old man's cave?
In a safe place.
It is, huh?
The mountainside.
Well, then you lead the way. Fall in, mister.
He won't talk to you.
He will if I show him the business end of an M14.
Major, you're not listening. It doesn't work like that. I've told you the only reason we've survived this long in spite of the radiation is because of his advice. Without him, we all die.
Is that what you people believe? How about you, girlie?
Mr. Goldsmith's telling the truth.
The truth? And you? And you? The same goes for everybody here? Yeah. Well, you know what I believe?
Why don't you enlighten us, Major?
You're all suckers. Patsies. I don't think any of you will ever die of radioactivity. It's not in the cards. I think you're all going to kick off from malnutrition or maybe getting conned to death.
Well, if that's true, Major, it'll be a painless death.
Are you serious? Take a look around you. Take a good look. This town turned to dust a long time ago. Broken windows, roofs falling in, street lights tipped over. You're living like animals. Is this painless, Mr. Goldsmith?
Well, it's what we're used to.
It's what you're used to because you've got rings through your noses. An old man in a cave who doesn't come out into the daylight. Mr. Goldsmith, listen up. The booking odds are as follows. I'll give you 100 to 1. No, make it 500 to 1 that your old man is some soft-in-the-head hermit who smells like a garbage heap and doesn't even know what year it is. Get me?
That's not for us to say.
You got that right. It's for you to ask. Friends, Romans, and farm animals, lend me your ears. We're going up to that little cave now, and we're going to run a check on your favorite recluse. We'll haul him out into the light of day and get a good look at him. And then, I'll decide.
Decide what, Major?
If he's worth keeping alive. How much farther?
Don't worry, Major. We'll be there soon.
If you're trying to pull something, Goldsmith.
Just beyond the burned-out trees, there's a rise, and then the mountains. I'll show you.
Furman.
Yes, sir?
You and Douglas pull ahead. Haber, keep everybody on the path.
No problem, sir.
Goldsmith, do you realize what you're doing?
I believe I do.
But when we get there, what if they...
What, Jason?
What if they execute him? Then where will we be?
Well, they won't.
How do you know that?
They can't.
Have you seen the Major's eyes? That man doesn't care about anyone but himself. He's the kind who started this war. And if he has his way, the old man is finished.
We'll see about that.
Hold up, Major. I think we found it.
Good. Everybody, stand back.
Is this what you wanted to see, Major?
It looks like a solid steel panel, sir. Built flush into the base of the mountain.
All right, Mr. Goldsmith, tell us about it.
Nothing much to tell.
How does it open?
I don't know. To my knowledge, it's never been opened.
Suppose I were to strip off your skin an inch at a time. Would that increase your knowledge?
Oh, you could do that, Major, all the way to the bone. I'd have to tell you the same thing. I don't know how the door opens, or if it opens.
The old man lives inside?
That's right.
And he never comes out?
That's my understanding.
I hate to press you, Mr. Goldsmith, but what does he eat? How does he live? How does he stay alive?
I couldn't say.
How do you know he's in there? How do you communicate with him?
He sends out notes, messages under the door. There's a small slot right here. Let's see. It's just wide enough for a strip of paper. I come every day at the same time, and he pushes another piece of paper out. It has the answers to my questions.
He sends out messages under the door. We have a winner, gentlemen. This one takes the blue ribbon. The Village Idiots, led by an idiot. You in there! I've got a question. Your people are starving to death. They found a pile of food, but they're afraid to eat it. They're afraid of their own shadows. So, what's the word? Give me one good reason why they can't live like human beings. You listening, old man? Answer me. I'm the law here now. Are you deaf? Or do you want it all for yourself? Is that it? Open up.
He won't respond to you that way.
Well, of course he won't, because he's not in there. This is your answer, everybody. A big, fat 0.
Major, please.
You!
Are you speaking to me?
You believe this stuff?
I suppose so.
You suppose so? You suppose there's an old guy in this cave who sends out orders whenever he gets the urge? Man, oh man. I wish I'd been around when there was a Brooklyn Bridge to sell, because I could have made a fortune off this bunch. Furman.
Sir.
Shoot it open.
No dice, Major. It must be an inch thick. Maybe 2.
Douglas, give me a grenade.
Here, sir.
What's he doing?
Better make tracks, friends. This one's going to do some damage.
It's still shut tight, Major.
Hey, old man!
It's getting dark. If we're gonna find our way back...
You in there, listen up. I'm not through with you yet. I haven't even started.
Goldsmith.
What is it, Jason?
You know how to open the door. I know you do.
I know how to open the door, but I took an oath that I never would. My predecessor took the same oath, and that door has remained closed. No one will get into that cave. No one will ever touch the old man.
Who is he? Where did he come from?
A question oft asked, and a question never answered.
Well, the Major is going to get an answer, one way or another. You can bet on that.
It makes no difference, Jason. He's kept us alive. That's all that matters. Now, come on, old friend. Let's go home.
Now time, people. Dig in.
It looks all right.
But the old man didn't say.
But I'm so hungry.
What should we do?
Come on. What's the matter with you? Everybody choose 5 cans. Take your pick. Tonight we're going to celebrate the new order.
That food is contaminated, Major.
It is, huh? Who said so? The man who wasn't there?
There's every possibility that those cans contain enough strontium-90 to kill all the people in this village.
Yeah? Funny. I listened real close, and I didn't hear a single word from that guru of yours. Haber, give me a bayonet.
Sir.
What are you doing?
I'm opening a can of, what's it say? Tropical fruit salad. I remember fruit salad. Do you? The kind with the little red cherries. Let's see what else is in here. Pineapple, peaches. Pears.
I warned you.
My stomach.
You see, this is what happens when you...
See what? Just a little performance for the yokels to keep them, on their toes. But you knew that, didn't you, Mr. Goldsmith? There's nothing wrong with this food. It's positively scrumptious. Well, say something. Tell me how disappointed you are. You're a nutcase, There's enough grub in that pile to keep you alive for years.
There's enough poison in that pile to kill us all in days or hours. Much of it was canned after the bomb. We have no idea where it came from or who processed it. Some of the cans are only cheap plastic. It's porous. We have no idea what seeped into them from the air.
Let's lay it on the line, shall we? Any of you who want a good meal for a change, dig in. For the rest of you who still want to play kindergarten, go home and gnaw on a bone.
I'll try one.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to sample it if we're careful.
Don't be fools. Don't commit suicide because a couple of pack rats invade our homes and decide to turn things upside down.
Let them be, Goldsmith. If they want to eat that stuff, let them eat it.
The old man warned us about this. He told us it might be contaminated. We've got to bury it.
Get out of my way.
I say it's all right. He tested it.
There's nothing you can do. If they're willing to risk it, that's up to them now.
I'm afraid you're right, Evelyn. I've said my piece. The only thing left to say is, may God help us.
Hey, looky! We just repealed Prohibition. All over again.
Goldsmith, over here.
Let him go.
But I wanted to have a drink with them.
Have one with me. I got plenty.
What's that one?
Single malt Scotch whiskey. Here, give it a try. Like Christmas. Just like Christmas, huh?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, too. You got a name?
Jason.
Jason. Where's your golden fleece? I'm a very literate man. I went to college. Did you know that, Jason? I went to college.
What did you learn?
Why, it's the famous Mr. Goldsmith, keeper of the legend, protector of the fables, Lord High Chamberlain of the cave. You look hungry and thirsty. How about a drink? You got 100 cases of that hooch inside. You want to start breaking every bottle? You got yourself a man's job.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any remote idea what you've brought to this village?
Mr. Goldsmith, what I've brought to this village is the first square meal any of them have had in 20 years, and the first hours of pleasure they've had since you started leading them around by the nose. Why don't you give up the ghost, old man? Unbend. Why not? Can you answer me?
You came as intruders, but now you're murderers. There's no telling how many people will die because of what you've done tonight. The old man told us dozens of times about food like this. He warned us.
Now hear this. The old man... Well, there isn't any old man in the cave. He's a lie. He's a concoction. You made him up. You cut him out of whole cloth. Nobody's seen him. Nobody's heard him. Nobody knows who he is or where he's from.
He's there just the same, whether you believe in him or not.
Prove it.
We've survived for 20 years. That's all the proof we need.
Speak for yourself. By the looks of it, I'd say there aren't many believers left. You're on your own now. Open the cave, Goldsmith. Prove it that way.
Maybe I can explain something.
Go ahead.
There were 2 men here right after the bomb. Scientists. That's all we knew about them. When they died, they gave the secret to another man, and he gave it to Goldsmith. Now he's the only one who knows how to open the door.
I don't know what your game is, Goldsmith. I don't know how you get paid off. But it's time you let these people fill their bellies. It's time you open that cave and let them see who's kept them hungry all these years.
Listen to him.
You'll have to kill me, French.
Mister, I've killed 100 times you. And that's how I've stayed alive. You, Jason, get your people together. You know what we have to do.
Everybody follow us. Light some torches. We're going to the cave. We're going to open it. We're going to get the old man.
Jason, for the love of God.
You get it, Mr. Goldsmith? This is the Renaissance. This is the New Age. And you're going to usher it in. From now on, the people are going to eat and drink and walk in the rain. You're going to grow whatever you want, whenever you want. And your old man, whoever he is, he's going to abdicate the throne. Douglas, Furman.
Any trouble, sir?
Put Mr. Goldsmith in the back seat and see that he doesn't try to run. We're going to take a drive up to the cave. Drag him if you have to. Mr. Goldsmith here is going to open the cave. He knows how. He can show you the old man. One thing he can't do is explain why you've been half-starved, half-frozen, and half-baked to death for all these years.
Please, all of you, listen to me. There's no reason under the sun for this cave to be open. The only thing you need to know is that the old man has kept us alive.
We're hungry. Do you understand? We're hungry. We've survived, but we haven't lived. He's never let us.
He didn't drop the bomb, Jason. He didn't kill off the world. That's what we did to ourselves. All he's done is let us survive our mistake. All he's done is give us a chance to plant a seed again and let it grow. In that cave is all the compassion that's left on Earth.
No more talk. Do it. Now.
There's a switch under this rock. Let me tell you all something. Now the damage has been done. The destruction is complete. Irrevocable. You, Mr. French. When we talked about the ways that men could die, we forgot the chief method of execution. We forgot faithlessness.
Enough! You've listened to him for years. That's all you've done. You've listened and you've listened. And then, when he said jump, you jumped. When he said breathe, you breathed. And when he said starve, you starved. I'll tell you what's in this cave. Here's my prediction. It's a fanatic, a madman, who had to be kept locked up behind a steel wall. Not to protect you, to protect him. Now you'll see for yourselves. What are you waiting for? Get him!
Oh, my dear God. It's a machine.
It's called a computer. This is your old man. This is your tyrant, your dictator. Kill it. You've been hungry long enough. Kill it, now! You're free now. Hear me? Burn it. Burn every last trace of it. You're all free.
Mr. Goldsmith?
Evelyn? I didn't think anyone else was alive. At least not for much longer.
I took your advice. I didn't eat the food or drink anything last night.
Why?
I Don't know. Faith, I guess, if that's what you call it. If it was good enough all these years, well, that must mean something.
Does it? It didn't mean anything to Major French and his men. What are all those people outside? Not to any of them.
Is there anything we can do?
No. I know there might be a treatment of some sort to prolong their lives, but I don't have that information. It died last night back in the cave, along with all the rest of our knowledge.
I know some things.
I'm sure you do, Evie.
For instance, it's going to rain today.
Why, you can't know that.
Yes, I can. I can feel it. Can't you?
I'm not sure.
Well, that's my prediction.
We'll have to move the bodies, bury them.
Yes, there are so many. You can hardly walk. I moved one already.
You moved?
Inside. He's laying down, over here.
Goldsmith. That you?
Jason? Jason, I'm so terribly sorry.
So am I. I'm the one who's so sorry.
You're not to blame. Maybe this has to be the destiny of man. I wonder if that's true. I wonder.
Jake, I just...
Oh. He was a good man, wasn't he?
A good man.
He was always good to me. That's why I helped him in. He said he wanted to hear something one last time, and now it's too late. Wait. I think I know what he wanted.
And what was that?
This.
Sounds familiar. Can't quite place it.
I can. A man named Glenn Miller. It's called Moonlight Serenade.
Well, I'll be. There's your rain, Evie.
Do you mind? Do you mind if we just sit here for a while longer before we move the bodies?
No, I don't mind. At all.
I like the sound.
So do I, Evie. So do I.
Mr. Goldsmith, survivor, an eyewitness to history and man's imperfection, an observer of the very human trait of greed and chronicler of the last chapter, the one reading suicide. Not a prediction of what is to be, just a projection of what could be in the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
The Old Man in the Cave, starring Adam Baldwin, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Rod Serling from a story by Henry Slesser. Heard in the cast were Mike Starr, Doug James, Kurt Nabig, Deb Dotzer, Jeff Lupetin, Sarah Marks, Carl Amari, Roger Wolski, and Vince Amari. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Roger Wolski for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.